And before I go further on into my experiences, I just want to congratulate the people here today who have graduated. This ceremony is all about you. This ceremony is to celebrate you and to just honor your achievements. I know what it takes. It's taken a lot of hard work and dedication to get to where you are today. And I know that you're going to go out and you're going to be world changers as you change people's lives, just one person at a time. So a real heartfelt congratulations from me, and a big thank you from me for the warm welcome that I have received from this village. It has been absolutely impeccable and beautiful, and I couldn't have asked for more. I've been overwhelmed, and I feel so loved and cherished, and I've never been treated so gracefully in my life. This has been amazing. So thank you to each and every one of you. And thank you for all my gifts that you have put on me. I really, really sincerely appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. So, why did all this start? Why did I give up my amazing corporate career to go running around the world? What happened was I went into the world and I started the work in the corporate world. And my heart was empty. My heart was breaking. And I thought, I need to do something more. I need to do something where I'm going to help young people. I want to help people change. I want to help people succeed in life. And at May 2011, I heard the founder of Live Village, Titch Smith, come and speak to me at my church. And he shared about Live Village, which is an incredible village, which is rescuing orphan children, raising them up, and releasing them as stars. They are restoring their lives, and there are businesses that are supporting the village, so this village is sustainable. And my heart just checked and said, that's what I need to be involved in. And I packed up my successful corporate career, and my first run was to start running and training for Comrades Marathon, which is what you can see that picture there. It's a 90-kilometer run, and it took me 11 hours, 30 minutes to complete. In that marathon, I raised 35,000 Rand for the children of the village in KZN. After that marathon, I still had a deep, deep yearning in my heart for more. And God placed this amazing dream on my heart. He said to me, I want you to go and run a marathon on every continent in the world in 1 year to raise funds and awareness to build a village for the children in your hometown of Grahamstown. I said, really, God? Is that you? And it was. So I packed up everything and off I went on an incredible adventure. This is a picture of Live Village in KZN, and in my country, in South Africa, there are 5.2 million orphans in my nation, and that makes my heart break. I want to be part of the solution to help give these children a life that they can flourish and prosper and live their God-given unique purpose and passion. And as we equip these children with all their needs, these children are going to have the essential moral values and life skills, and they will grow up to be a generation that will not just influence positive change within South Africa, but within the world. And I really believe that. And I believe we will see future presidents from these villages that we are building. So my vision, I have a big, big vision for my nation. And my vision is that there are 51 million people in my nation. Every single one of them a little piece of a puzzle. And the same in India. All of you are part of a piece of puzzle in this big, beautiful nation of India. Each one of you have to come to the part, because if you don't put your piece down, there is going to be a hole in your nation, and you are the only one who can fill it with your unique gifts and talents that you have been given and granted. So in my big picture, there's been lots of pieces that are in the wrong places, and that has caused 5 million orphans, crime, bad education, bad medical facilities. And I believe if each and every one of us starts to live and find our God-given passion and purpose and connect with other people, we are going to see our nations restored forever, all to the glory of Almighty God. So I believe as we come together and connect our pieces, we are going to see this nation restored. As I shared, my little piece, my one piece of the 51 million people in my nation is to do this. Firstly, to go and run a marathon on every continent in 1 year. And secondly, to gather and equip and mobilize the youth of my nation to help them find and live their God-given passion and purpose. There is a 50% unemployment rate in my hometown, in my home nation of young people. That is not okay. I need to work harder and get more and more people to change lives. And Gandhi, who you all know, says, be the change that you want to see in the world. That is what you need to do. So my very first marathon was meant to be in March 2013, the Antarctica Marathon. And as I was about to leave, I had my bags packed, everything was organized, and I got a message, an email on my phone to say, if you have not left your hometown yet, do not leave. The ship has hit an iceberg and the trip is cancelled. I was so disappointed, and I learned that you can either carry on and say, well, this has happened for a reason. Now part of the reason I know why, because on the next trip I met Sam and Supti. I wouldn't be standing here today if that ship didn't hit an iceberg. And otherwise, some people can say, oh, it's not working, my trip and my dream's not working, and they just give it up. Never, never give up. When you have a dream, you're going to come across obstacles, you're going to come across challenges, but never, never give up. If there is one thing you remember from this afternoon, remember those words. Never, never, never give up. Chip away, keep going. So eventually my marathons did begin, and they began in Europe. Let me get there. And my mom and dad, as you can imagine, many of your parents, imagine you are having a really good job, you've studied all these degrees, and you've got this very good job, and then you phone home and you say, Mom, Dad, I'm giving up my job and I'm going to run around the world. They said, child, what has happened to you? Have you gone crazy? He said, no, Mom and Dad, this is what I believe is in my heart. I need to live my passion and purpose. They said, child, we don't know what's going on with you. Are you okay? I said, yes, I'm fine. And they were not happy with me at all. Then, by the grace of God, I phoned my mother and I said, Mom, this is my itinerary of my 7 marathons. My mom and dad never travel overseas. And they said, no ways. I said, what? They said, the same weekend that you're going to be in Vienna for your first marathon, we are going to be traveling to Prague for our 40th wedding anniversary. So by the grace of God, my parents, those are my parents in that picture, were with me on my first marathon, and they are now my biggest supporters. Then I went on to the Great Wall of China. The Great Wall of China, you have to climb 5,164 steps in a 42.2 marathon. It is a killer. And as you can see in this picture, there were people literally, look at him, he's like falling against the wall. They're crawling up the stairs. And what I learned from this marathon was that when you know why you're doing something and you have that determination, you will never give up. So I hope that each and every one of you here knows that you want to be a teacher. Remember why you want to be a teacher, because you want to change lives. So when it starts getting really hard and really tough, don't just go, oh, this is too hard, I want to give up now. You keep going because you know you are significantly changing lives and making a better place in India and in this world. And every step that I climbed for 1,000 orphans, because then, after this marathon, I had thought of all 5 million orphans in my hometown, and that is what breaks my heart. Then I went on to the Inca Trail Marathon, and before that, in June, I was due to run another marathon in Africa. And 2 weeks before that marathon, I was walking around at home and I tripped and I landed on my chin and I broke my jaw. Again, another setback that nothing I could do about. And I had to just carry on And again, by God's grace, I could actually rest my legs and keep going. Then I went to the Andes, the Inca Trail Marathon. The Inca Trail is normally walked over 5 days, and we ran it plus 10 kilometers in one day. You climb up to 4,200 meters. Everest Base Camp is at 5,500 meters. So you run all the way up to 4,200 meters. And the pass there is called Dead Woman's Pass. But I came out alive, so it's good. And then you finish at this amazing Machu Picchu, which is the most beautiful, beautiful Inca city that has been uncovered. And look at this cheeky llama up there in that corner, giving me grief on my run. Then I went to Sydney, and the city of Sydney in Australia, for that whole community of people who live there are 5 million people. That is equal to the number of orphan and vulnerable children in my nation. So I ran that marathon thinking that this whole city has been built for 5 million people in this country. What am I doing and what is my country doing for the orphans and vulnerable children in my country? Then I went off to New York City and I ran the New York City Marathon, the largest marathon in the world. There were 51,000 runners in this marathon. And as you can see, all those people up there, and in my mind I'm thinking, this is only 1% of the orphan and vulnerable children in my nation. We have a lot of work to do. We cannot waste time. We have to get on with this and build more villages. Then I had to make up another Africa marathon because I couldn't run the one because my chin and my jaw was broken, and I ran the Sani Stagger Marathon. It's 21 kilometers up and 21 kilometers down. As I was running up this marathon, I thought it would be fine. It was 3 hours 45 cut-off at the half time, and to me I ran 7 kilometers an hour, so 7, 14, 21. I thought plenty of time. As I started running up, you climb from 1,500 meters to 3,000 meters. The first 7 kilometers going well. Second 7 kilometers going fine. The third 7 kilometers, the altitude climbed by 1,000 meters. My legs started feeling like lead. Have you ever had cramp, where your muscles cramp? My legs were cramping. I had blisters on my feet. I was feeling dizzy. I was feeling nauseous. Just like had altitude sickness. And as I was going up, I was watching my clock, and the time was ticking away, ticking away. And as I was going up and up, you can see here that there's very mountainous, going up these hills, and I was starting to feel more nauseous and more dizzy. And I looked at my watch, and 3.5 hours had gone, and I still wasn't at the top. Then I kept going, and someone came down the mountain, and they said, "It doesn't look like you're going to make it." I said, "I will make it. Don't tell me I'm not going to make it." And remember those words? Never, never, never give up. And in my mind, I was going, never, never, never give up. And with everything in me, I started walking backwards just to use other muscles, and I kept going. And then my clock said 3:40, and I still wasn't there. With everything in me, I tried to run, and I cramped, and I stopped. I kept trying to go, cramped, stopped. Eventually, I looked up, and I saw the halfway mark, and my clock said 3 hours 44. I ran a little bit, and I cramped. And as I got there, I said to the man, I put my foot over the line, I said, "Oh, I have just made it. Please can I have my turnaround band?" But he said to me, "Ma'am, you have been disqualified." He said, "You have missed it by 3 seconds." And I started crying. I said, "Sir, please don't disqualify me. This is what I'm doing. This is for my country. This is for my nation. And I always run with my South African flag." He said, "Lady, get in the taxi and go down the mountain. You are disqualified." So I said, no, sir, please, please." And I was crying and crying. And then one of the men put a band on my wrist, and he thought, she'll never make it down the mountain, because the full cutoff was 6.5 hours. So I said to them, "I'm not getting in that taxi. You can disqualify me, but I didn't come here to run 21. I came here to run 42.2 kilometers, and you are not going to stop me from living this dream and running. I will not give up on my country and the widows and orphans." And I turned around and I texted my mom and dad, and I said, "I am heartbroken. I've been disqualified." And I ran down the mountain and I thought I have to finish. It doesn't matter how long it takes me, I will not give up. And as I ran down the mountain, I realized that the man had given me the wristband that is the turnaround band, but he never thought I would get down in 6.5 hours. And I started praying all the way down that mountain and running and running and running. And when I had about 7 kilometers to go, I had an hour, I thought, I can do this, I can do this. And with everything in me, with every fiber of my being, thinking of my orphans, thinking of my children, thinking of the widows, I just kept running, and it gave me such determination in my heart and my spirit. And as I came around the corner, I could see, I had about 3 minutes, and I could see the end. And with everything in me, I started to run, and I cramped again, and I stopped in my tracks. And then I started walking, then I started crawling, and I kept going. And as I looked up, my father, he was there with me, and I just heard, "Run, my child, run, you can do this, go, give it your all." And I kept running, and I got over that line in 6 hours, 29 and a few seconds. I collapsed into my father's arms and I said, "That's the hardest thing I've ever done in all my life." And I said, "But I was disqualified, so have I really got it?" So we went to the organizer and I said, "I was disqualified at half time." She said, "Did you get a turnaround band?" I said, "Yes, I did." She said, "Did you get an SMS on your phone that you finished in under 6.5 hours?" She said, "Yes, you did." And so I got my 6th marathon. And what I learned from this marathon was 2 big life lessons for me. The first thing is that life is always so quick to disqualify us. But you are unique, you are special, you are amazing, and nothing in this world will disqualify you from your God-given passion and purpose. Life will come along, life will throw you challenges, but remember, never, never give up. Because when it is your dream, you will achieve it. Then lastly, off I went to Antarctica, and that was where I met the beautiful Sam and Softy. And we went, and this is my brother. He came with me. And look at this penguin, they were so cute. And look at that iceberg, what does that look like? Africa, my home continent. And I believe that is God showing me that it is Africa's time to show the world how to look after our nation, to look after our orphans, to look after our widows, and to have my country thrive. And then this man over here is blind. He was the first blind man in history to run a marathon on Antarctica. And when I asked this man, I said, "Hein, do you think if you could get your vision back, would you get your vision back?" This man said to me, "Lara, I have more vision for my life and for my country. I don't need my sight." So, what vision do you have for your life and your country? Don't let the things that you think hold you back hold you back. He's not letting his lack of sight hold him back. He is still going full force ahead. So whatever you may think is a challenge in your life, don't let it hold you back. Let it catapult you forward into your destiny. And then we finally achieved it. There's Sam and I over there. We got our 7x7. My 7x7 was in 11 months. And there we are in Antarctica. And when we got our medals are big medals saying 7 marathons on 7 continents. And these are all my marathons that I did. And then I have a crazy running partner. You're never too old to start running. He's 72 years old, and he said, "Come on, let's do Everest Base Camp." I said, "What? Everest Base Camp? No ways." And he said, "Come on," and off we went. And we climbed right up to base camp, and this picture here is at base camp. We almost got snowed in at base camp, and we had to evacuate. It was a life-threatening situation we were all in. It was just after that first earthquake and avalanche that had happened. And so there we were, and we had to evacuate and go down to Gorik the next day in order to stay alive. As you can see, our tents were almost completely snowed in. So we went back, and we went back down to Gorik, and then we started the marathon from Gorik all the way down to Namche Bazaar in snowy, cold, blizzardy conditions. And 10 kilometers from the end, my running partner, who is 72 years old, slipped. And he broke his arm, and he broke his jaw. And so we walked the last 10 kilometers in the night through the Himalayas to get him to the end. And when we got there, he had to have a splint put on his arm, he couldn't eat anything, and he was mildly concussed. But it taught me so much. It taught me about teamwork, because teamwork is so critical. We can't just do things on our own. We need a team to succeed. And it just taught me so many life lessons of walking together. We walked for hours and hours. Two Sherpas came alongside him and walked with him all the way to the end. And it was an absolutely epic, epic adventure at the base of Mount Everest. Then I came home, and as you know, I did this because I wanted to buy land for my village. And I found the perfect land which wasn't for sale. And I went to the owner and I said, please, sir, I'd like to buy this land. I have money I can put down for a deposit, and I promise you I'll fundraise to get the rest. And 2 weeks later, this man phoned me and he said, how much land do you need? I said, I need 80 acres because I want to have 500 children on my village. And 2 weeks later, he phoned me and he said, we are donating the land. So when you think you have a big dream that people tell you you're crazy, you've lost the plot, keep going because you're on the right track. And never, never give up, because God has amazing plans to make these things a reality. And then we used to go onto the land and pray once a month. Can you see that rainbow over the land? Right there. And that is exactly where the land for the village is going to be. So now, after my 7 marathons, I have my land. We're getting the land rezoned and subdivided. And in the next, I hope, 1 to 2 years, we will start building the village for my children, my orphans in my hometown. So that is my unique piece for my country. And today, my challenge to all of you is, what is your piece? What is your piece to fulfill your nation? What is your piece to make a change in one life or many lives? What is that? I want to challenge you to think about that, to write down your vision for your life, and to see what you can do and what your passion and your heart's cry is. I heard a quote once that said, one passionate person is way more effective than 40 merely interested. If you are passionate about something, you will achieve it. When you have hiccups and roadblocks, you will just keep going, because passion and a real passion for things is an incredible motivator and desire to keep going. So as you think about that question, what is your part? I would like you to listen to this 2-minute video clip and think about that. What is my part in my home, my family, my community, my province, or my state, and my country, and my world? What is your unique piece?
ये कौन लगभग 3.5
Unfortunately, we can't listen to it, but it is a song that says, I want to leave my footprints on this side of life. And I just want to challenge you and ask you, where and how are you going to leave your footprints on this side of life? Because there is a powerful mark that only you can make, because you are unique and special. And never, never give up on believing that, because you are. And you have a special piece to put down in your country of India, that no one else in the whole wide world can put down. So never, never give up. And I can't sing the song, but never, never give up. And congratulations again to all those who have graduated. And I hope that you will just keep the seed of inspiration with you, that you will never, never give up, and go for it. Live your dream, find your passion, and go and change the world, because you can. Thank you.